Huge game tomorrow morning in Starkville. We just talked to Chris Budden. There's some doubt Derek Stingley Jr. is going to be available. We don't need to tell the audience how great he is, but how does that change the game if he doesn't play?
Well, you're missing one of the best players in college football, and also when Mississippi State runs so many crossing patterns, and if LSU's playing man, that's just it's really hard to overcome someone like that. But I think the biggest question mark for me is LSU's offense against this Mississippi State defense. Mississippi State defense is a really good defense, and that's going to be a really fun matchup for me to see. Has this LSU offense that really did not look good against UCLA a couple weeks ago, are they going to be able to figure it out a little bit the way they were playing at the end of last season?
Talking to Tim Tebow here for a few more moments. The biggest game, according to rankings, is tomorrow afternoon in Arlington. You have A&M, which is we have a quarterback situation there that we're watching very closely, and then Arkansas, which everyone loves.
I mean, I do too. And it's not because I think they're one of the best teams. It's because you can't help but like their culture, their coaching staff, their players. They play so hard. When you watch that defense, you can't help but root for them. I mean, everyone flies around, and they play team defense, and it's awesome to be able to watch. And I do think they're probably a legit top 15 team. The question mark in this game is their offense, right? They're able to get away with it a little bit against Texas because the momentum, and Texas dropped a punt. They had some easy scores. But when they have to go, 60, 70, 80 yards, can Arkansas sustain those drives in a big game? And then on the other side, there's a lot of question marks for A&M's offense. Yes, I know they got some really good skill players in their backs. Their offensive line's not what they were last year. Their quarterback, and Zach Calzada, is not what Kellen Mond was last year. And so they got to figure some things out. There's a lot of question marks in this game, and that's why I'm excited to see it. Who's going to be really able to fill those gaps?
Talking to Tim Tebow here for a couple of minutes. We'll circle back to where we began because these folks here continue to believe in the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's talk about Doty for a second because he was hurt early on. We haven't seen as much of him as the fans hope. What do you see when you watch him play?
Well, I think someone that has a better deep ball than a lot of the experts give him credit for. I think he throws that well. I think he missed a couple of them last week. But I do think he throws it pretty well. I think he's very athletic. But I want to see him when it's his team, when it's his opportunity, when he gets to play 4 quarters in big-time SEC football. How do you handle that pressure? How do you handle that hype? I think he's got all the gifts. I think he has all the abilities that it takes to be a successful SEC quarterback. Now it's, do you have the mindset? Can you handle the pressure? Can you handle the crowd? Can you handle your home crowds, opposing crowds, the big moments? And I think that is the biggest question mark for him. I'm excited to see him because I think he brings something different to this offense than anybody they've had in a long time. And I think he's got a little bit of Steven Garcia in him, a little bit of Connor Shaw in him. Steven Garcia was hype, but Connor Shaw wasn't that hype. But all Connor Shaw did was freaking go out there and win over and over and over again. And that's why to me, whatever they're ranked in high school, I don't care. I played with 5 stars and I play with no stars. And it's what can you do now? How have you developed? And so when I look at him, I see someone that can do all of that. Now, in the bright lights, will he?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.